Welcome back, everybody, to this EWA unauthorized look behind the camera of this company. I'm here with the two principal owners, and once again, guys, I can't thank you enough for giving us your time of day. I have some questions from fans, and I spoke about it in the Bouras report. I'm not going to just throw softballs, and I consider that first, third part, softball part. Honestly, at this point, there has to be some sort of disagreements amongst the two of you, and I don't want to get into it right away. But could you tell me some things that, not only with YouTube, but some problems that you guys have had throughout time?
All right. Well, I could, as a wrestler's point of view, because back then I was more of a wrestler, and I was a wrestler, and I wasn't an owner. Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of a different aspect to it. But like where I was going with this is that before we were more stubborn, we had more pride in ourselves, because first of all we were younger, so the maturity was still a little. We lacked in maturity, in other words, and everybody always wanted to win. People didn't want a job. People didn't want to lose. People wanted to win because at points we had an actual ring, and people wanted to look good in it. So they didn't want to drop the match, and there'd be a lot of backstage feuds and problems and all sorts of discussions that eventually had, like, example, Chris over here was an owner. He had to put his foot down at points, and say this is what's gonna happen and this is it, and not in a very talkative way, you know what I mean? I was saying more of an aggressive way too. And it was just, I could imagine it was hard for the owners.
Absolutely. To answer your question, Theo, it's basically what Jerry over here said. Sometimes in wrestling business, you choose your friends. You favor your friends in the wrestling business. Yeah. And that could lead to big problems and downfalls. It's one of the reasons why we actually failed the first time. One of them.
You talk about 2004 as Retribution.
2004 or 2006.
Both times.
Me and Jerry, not very often, but we had some disagreements about who we should put championship belts on and whatnot. It just so happens, people sometimes they favor their friends more, but it's gonna happen in the back of wrestling. Someone gets more glory, someone's gonna get less. Someone's gonna keep on winning, someone's gonna keep on losing. We're gonna have a main eventer, we're gonna have a jobber. It's just how the way wrestling works.
Well, that's Jay Mysterio.
That's Jay Mysterio, right? Like El Torito. This guy's been coming to our company for how long now? For 5 years. And this guy kept on losing, and he's happy.
Speaking of El Torito, just a quick side note. How did you actually, Nico, think of, or Chris, I refer to him as Nico, but Chris, how did you actually think of the character and give it to the El Torito wrestler?
El Torito, funny story. It was our Mass Destruction special events. We had Chris Angel, XCC at the time. I think it was him who was competing. For sure it was him. Look at the website, you'll find out. Anyways, he was in a match, and he wanted a match. We had no one left on the spot, so we decided, okay, we're going to put a hockey mask on Chris Criticos, the Scorpio, and we're going to call you El Torito, a Mexican warrior. The first ever time he portrayed a bad guy, pointing the fingers to the crowd, and he surprisingly won the match. But no one seemed to care about El Torito, so we just dropped it like that. It so happened again a couple months later, right before Total Chaos 03, we needed Triple D to compete. We had no one. So we decided to bring back El Torito. And again, it was portrayed by Jay Mysterio. And of course, El Torito, again, it was more fast-paced action this time. It was, of course, a lightweight on the face side, but it still wasn't kicking nothing. It still wasn't getting no response. El Torito guy. I decided to finally take the role of El Torito, and I thought it has to be something edgy, it has to be something controversy, sketchy,
and funny,
hilarious.
Just ball it up.
Wear no clothes. You want to hump everyone. You scream nothing, you tag your opponents, you tag the ref, you tag Theo, you scream top of your lungs, you hurt yourself, you lose the match on purpose not knowing you did it, you scream hit me baby one more time. They love it.
And that's the story of El Torito.
He hates it.
Well, he sprayed me once with some sort of liquid. Anyways, back to you guys. Again, back to the topic. Problems have arisen throughout the past couple of months as well since the EWA has returned. And I'm going to mention you 3 different names, and I'd like to have both of your opinion.
First.
Sure. On these 3 names. I'm talking about the former EWA superstars, the Tron, Blade, and Chris Angel. And these 3 controversial superstars that were referred to by the roster at some point as a cancer of the EWA and people that would destroy the company. Now, I want to see if you guys agree with that assessment that this is from the EWA roster. So, just to wrap up the question, just some comments on these three guys. We'll start with you, Jerry.